city to a smart city.
That's right,
so
the
cool.
analytics.
In the smart cities conversation, you have so many municipalities who start with the problem. So Austin's conversation about this is because we're all tired of sitting in traffic. We're one of the top cities in the nation for traffic congestion.
I live in Washington, D.C.
We're close, neck and neck.
You can't even beat it. It probably took me less time to commute to Austin than it does to get into Washington every day.
I believe it, and we don't want to head that way, but most cities start with the problem and then work towards the solutions, which they understand exactly what you're talking about, but it requires that foundational support. So well put, stage 1 and stage 2. So it's just fantastic. You think we would have scripted this, which we didn't, which is kind of amazing.
Well, but even now you can pull up your smartphone and see a map, and you get real-time data and analytics that show you traffic.
Yeah.
And that show you don't go this way, go that way, because it'll take you less time, to get to work.
Just imagine we have 5G, it'll be
So today's a conversation around building blocks, and this is the beginning of a continued conversation. But imagine, and I was really excited about inviting the Fireware guys to this conversation, because when you look at a ubiquitous, once you have, and this is not an assumption, but once you have and you're smart enough to implement a ubiquitous communications infrastructure, which most cities do not, the opportunity for 5G is a whole nother value proposition and a whole other network design. Now, assuming that we have that.
It's coming soon. They're already foundering the silicon, so this isn't something pie in the sky. It's happening.
And so technologists like us can design that. The problem is cities have to empower the right business model, the right business model. And I always talk about the elephant and the monkey. The city's an elephant. We need monkeys to basically be agile and create the technologies and work with leading this conversation, so we have the strength of a city and a monkey on the back to make it work. However, once you have ubiquitous communication infrastructure, you need actually a middleware to support all the ecosystem of development, to what Darlene's saying for a building. We've watched it in buildings for years, and it took years to develop this. And so there's a whole bunch of conversations that we want to curate over a period of time that talk about the level 0 and 1 and 2 and 3 in the OSI stack, that talk about the network infrastructure, but then the application middleware. And I can't wait to have the Fireware guys on here, which is really an EU initiative that has hundreds of cities in the collaboration of a middleware, open source, to support an ecosystem of universities and entrepreneurs to support all the creative ideas. So we're going to continue this podcast and continue this sort of video cast over a period of time. And I'm excited because Chelsea has a great, you have such a great policy background. And we have to talk at some point about policies and government sort of intervention in this and support of this from both a state and a local level. And I look forward to having some state and local leaders. It'll be interesting. And actually, along with the technology people, but I want to thank you guys so much we've worn out our stay, I think, here tonight. But I'm so thankful, man. Darlene, I love you. You've been an amazing woman and just making a stand and really a difference in the whole commercial real estate community. I've watched you over your career and just been really honored to know you. It's an amazing time to watch just the power that you've injected in typically a male-dominated world. You've been an amazing impact in that. And now you're at JLL. It's exciting. Mark, I've been impressed with just the experience that you've had in making, how do you make a New York City project work? You and Jeff, I've been really amazed to watch you guys in that. And so I've had a lot of fun in just watching this over the years. And our goal, I think, is to try to help raise the ability for us to kind of curate this conversation a little bit. And so thank you for being here. This is our, I guess, 1.0, right? After wine, this is probably the worst case scenario.
I think it's a great case scenario.
All right,
it's entrepreneurial. We're just
everybody.
Figuring it out,
Salute.
just like the rest of Smart Cities.
Welcome to Austin, Texas, and we look forward to continuing the conversation. Thank you.
Thanks.
Signing off.